battery 1, battery 2, and external power. Alright, systems are starting up. Any of you guys like kimchi? Alright, let's go to Korea then. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back on board Waypoints Aviation. We're back in our Airbus A320 and today I have an interesting one for you. As I said in the intro earlier, I did mention kimchi. And when we say kimchi, there's only one country that comes to mind, which is Korea. And you know, I've got a lot of friends from Korea and I absolutely love the culture, I love the food and everything that it represents. And in our last episode, if you've watched the last episode, we were in Mongolia and at Ulaanbaatar, and we flew over from Ulaanbaatar, Genghis Khan International Airport, over to this airport where we are right now, which is in China, in Beijing, and very specifically we're at Beijing Capital Airport, and we came and parked at gate number 510. At least I think it was 510, but anyway, this is the gate we're at right now. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna now make our way further east and southeast rather into Korea, and then from there we can proceed on probably towards Japan or some other countries in the Far East as we make our way around the world in our series Flying an A320 Around the World. So for those of you who are here for the first time, if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, and for those of you who are already subscribed, welcome back, and it's nice to have you all on board. Guys, do me a favor, whenever if you see it fit, if you think the video deserves it, give it a nice little thumbs up. That button works. I tested it just this morning. And thank you so much guys for joining. So when we talk about Korea, and of course my goal with this series was to travel to every country in the world. All right, now when you bring up the subject of Korea, two Koreas come to mind. One is the South Korea that most of us are known to, where the capital is Seoul, and I believe the airport is Incheon International Airport. Forgive me if I get it wrong. And of course, there is another Korea, a less popular one, which is North Korea. Now, North Korea, unfortunately, is in the news for all the wrong reasons. I'm pretty sure there must be a ton of things that are good about North Korea. I could be right, I could be wrong, I have no idea. I don't know much about the country, but I do know they have an international airport, and I do know that every now and then they do allow people to come and visit. Rather very highly secured, very strict, but they do allow people to come in to visit. So you know, I don't really support the fact that the country is run by a big fat ugly man-child who has got to be one of the most cruelest people on the planet. I mean, how could one person be so selfish and do what he's doing to an entire nation of wonderful people? You know, I'm sure North Korea would have a lot to offer the world, the international community, if only not for that big fat man-child. And sorry, I just don't like it when people are like that. So, you know, my heart goes out to the North Korean people, and in respect and honor to the North Korean people, not that Kim crazy dude, to the North Korean people, I'm gonna honor you guys, and we're gonna fly from here, Beijing Capital International Airport, to North Korea, to the capital of North Korea, which is I believe it's called Pyongyang. Let me get my notes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Pyongyang International Airport, which is in the Sunan district. All right. It used to be called Sunan Airport, and now it's officially Pyongyang International Airport. Guys, at any given time, if I've said something offensive, and if you are North Korean and you think that I'm wrong, correct me in the comments below and I will apologize. But as of right now, from what I know, I have zero respect for the guy running the country, but in honor and respect to the people in that country, we're gonna go and we're gonna land, we're gonna fly from here to Pyongyang International Airport, and then from there we're gonna refuel, we're gonna park, refuel, and then we're gonna head out, and then this flight ends when we land in South Korea in the city of Seoul at Incheon International Airport. All right, so that's what we got coming up. And one more thing, I did have a request to talk about the flight control computers in this aircraft, so I'm gonna throw in a little tutorial as well over here. So the tutorial is basically going to be about these guys over here, flight controls. So you got two panels up here. You got flight control here and you got flight control over there. All right, and of course in that you've got flight control, you got the ELACs, the SECs, and the FACs. All right, ELE, ELAC, SEC, and FAC, and then you've got ELAC 2, SEC 2, SEC 3, and FAC 2. All right, so I'm gonna be talking about those switches and what they do and what these flight control systems do once we get up in the air and we're in the cruise and I have a little bit of time to kind of play around with the machine. So for now, let's jump right into our briefing and brief the flight for our flight into North Korea. All right, I'll come back to you when we're fully prepared and ready for the departure briefing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everything is pretty much ready for departure. So all we gotta do now is just do this departure briefing. All right, so if you guys are ready, I'm pretty much ready to go. So first things first, let's get the weather over here. So if you can look at that screen right there, so the weather today in Beijing, it's the winds are out of 190, 3 meters per second, which is about 6 knots, and it's cavalcade conditions with a temperature of 9 and a dew point of -13. QNH is 1012 today. So that's what we're going to set over here, 1012 on both and also on the standby setup. All right, we are currently parked at gate number 510, and we have been given runway 18 left for our departure. So runway, that's where we are right now, and we're gonna go over to runway 18 left, which is right over there. It's 12,467 foot runway, so it's plenty enough for us to do an abort, and I'm thinking our taxiway is going to basically take us out, push us back facing north, and then we'll take Yankee 4 down to Juliet, and then from Juliet we could probably take Tango 6, and then from Tango 6 we can make a right onto Golf, go straight down on Golf, and then hold short at Echo 8 or even Echo 7, one of those two taxiways. All right, so that's going to be the taxi routing we're going to take today. For our departure, we're going to be using the Dotra 8 Yankee Delta departure. So I'm referring to plate number 10-3 Bravo, and it's from the 14th of April of 2023. It's an RNMS ID for Beijing, China. And as you can see, the departure has us taking off. Actually, let me confirm just a second. Yep, it's the Dotra 8 Yankee Delta. All right, so Dotra 8 Yankee Delta will have us taking off from here, and then at Alpha 511 with a maximum speed of 205 knots and a maximum altitude of 990 and a minimum altitude of 990 feet, we'll make a left turn to 088 degrees to Alpha 512, 3,940 and 6,890 at Alpha 513, and then onwards towards Alpha 514, where we've got a minimum altitude of 12,800 feet and a maximum altitude of 13,800 feet, and then onwards to Dotra, where we exit the SID and onto the airways, where we will have 13,800 as a minimum altitude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 13,800 over here so that we climb out, but we'll maintain the SID configurations constraints as well. All right, and yep, that's pretty much it. And in case of immediate return, we're going to have to come back. We will just consider coming back to the same runway. We can do an ILS Yankee for runway 18 left. So there it is. And that's pretty much the flight plan I have. All right, come back for an ILS in case we need to. Otherwise, we'll take the Dotra 8 Yankee Delta out, and we are going to be tracking the Guangzhou, PEK, Papa Echo Kilo VOR outbound. All right, so on the box, as you can see, I've got the origin there. I've got the Pyongyang in the destination, and I've put Incheon International South Korea as my alternate as well, which I will use later to formulate my onwards flight plan. Initially, we're going to be taking flight level 370, but we'll check the progress bars. And actually, it's saying 350, so what I'll do is I'm just going to request 350 initially. All right, that's going to be our cruise and altitude. On the flight plan, as you can see, we're going to be taking runway 18 left on the SID Dotra 8 Yankee Delta, all the way down to Dotra, just as we saw in the map. All right, and then from there we're going to jump onto the Bravo 334 Airways and onwards towards Pyongyang. All right, so that's done on the flight plan page. We've got, it's about 659 nautical miles, which matches the flight plan. On the RadNav page, I've hard tuned the Papa Echo Kilo VOR, tracking on both sides, as well as the ILS for runway 18 left is 109.3 and it's 181. We can cross check that here, 109.3, and it says 179 here, so a slight discrepancy of about 2 degrees, but that's okay. We can live with that. All right, okay, on to the performance today. Today we are having a zero fuel weight of 59.3 tons and a CG of 27.6, giving us a gross weight of 65.8 tons, just underneath the maximum landing weight of 66 tons on this aircraft. So we're doing pretty good over there. Actually, the first thing I should have told you is that we are flying the Airbus 320, Airbus 320-214. We're flying the CEO, not the NEO, and our database is valid. All right. So that's the performance information that we have going over there. In case we need to come and land, we do not need to do a overweight landing checklist and stuff like that. And for the performance, our takeoff speeds will be flaps 1 with an up of 0.2 on the trim and a flex of takeoff of 68 degrees. 147, 147 and 152 are the V speeds, and we've got a transition altitude of 9,850 feet and a thrust reduction acceleration of 1610 on both sides, the same for the engine out procedure. All right, so that's pretty much the flight plan done. All we have to do now is basically just get the aircraft ready, and to save fuel, I didn't start the APU yet, so I'm going to start the APU now. Do a quick APU fire test. All right, all good. Let's go master, and that brings up the APU page down there. Now we're gonna hit start, and then in a couple of minutes we'll have the APU. I'll get the APU bleed going. I'll switch off the external power. So for now, what we need to do is we need to do the cockpit preparation checklist, which is gear pins and covers. They are removed. Fuel quantity 6.46 tons is on board the aircraft. Seat belts, they are currently on, along with the no smoking lights, and the emergency lights are set. ADIRSs are all 3 in nav, and of course we have to check here as well. IRS monitor, all 3 IRSs are in nav as well. And what's next? Barrel reference 1012, cross-checked, reading just about 120 feet on the altimeter. That's 36 meters for those of you who are using that metric. All right, guys, so that's pretty much the setup. The cockpit preparation checklist is completed. Once the APU is ready, I'm going to perform the before start checklist, do the pushback, and then I'm going to taxi down towards the runway, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm at the runway. All right, see you there. ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're at Echo 8 and holding short of runway 18 left. We are pretty much ready to go on this one. And due to popular requests, I do have my iPad recording the primary flight display, so you're going to see that as well in the videos to come. All right, so let's do the lineup checklist, which is going to be the takeoff runway 18 left is confirmed. The TCAS can now go to TA and RA, and the packs 1 and 2, they are on for takeoff. So last thing left to do is to get the lights going. Strobes are on auto. I'll put the strobes on as well. And cabin crew, please be seated for takeoff. All right, they're advised, cabin's ready, all is good to go. All we got to do now is pretty much release the parking brakes like so. Give it a little bit of thrust, and let's line this baby up with the runway. It's a hive of activity here. Well, it is Beijing, China, so hardly a surprise. All right, let's give a little bit more thrust, about 30%. All right, we're clear on the right, we're clear on the left, and there's nothing on the TCAS as well, so all good. Nice crisp cold early morning in Beijing. There we go, 18 left on the markings, confirmed. All right, you guys ready? All right, let's go. Forward pressure on the side stick, bring the thrust to 50%. Stabilize, go click and click into flex, start the chrono. Okay, Manflex 68, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Knots, checked. V1 and rotate. Got traffic on the runway. Just missed him. All right, on to the SRS flight directors. We got nav. Positive rate of climb and gear up. Lever climb. Thrust climb, climb, auto thrust white. There's the S speed, so speed check and flaps up. And you can disarm the spoilers as well, and the 2 outer lights go off. just trying to keep it in the middle of the flight director as accurately as we can. Following. So we're in a managed climb, so far so good. Autopilot 1 can come on now. AP1. Alright, the QNH is flashing, so we can now set standard on both sides and on the standby instrument as well. Just crossed 10,000, so auto lights off, weather is good, seatbelt signs can go off as well. And we can come down here, and we can go ahead and secondary flight plan, copy active. And we're good to go, guys. We're on our way to North Korea, to Pyongyang. Alright, I'll get back to you guys when I'm just getting close to the cruise. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're climbing up all the way to flight level 350, which is about 10,668 meters. And everything's looking good. And yeah, well on our way towards Pyongyang in North Korea. Still can't believe I'm saying that. But anyways, guys, as promised, I wanted to let you know. I promised you that I would do a tutorial on the flight control computers of the aircraft. All right. So while I'm up here in the air, that's the best time to kind of demonstrate it. All right. Now, if you look up here on the overhead panel, you've got you have a flight control panel over here with ELAC 1, SEC 1 and FAC 1. All right, then on this side you got flight controls ELAC 2, SEC 2, SEC 3 and FAC 2. So as you can see, the ELACs stand for elevator and aileron control. That's what ELAC is. All right, and you have 2 over there because we need redundancy in the aircraft. So if one fails, you have a backup system. All right, so the ELAC system, okay, let me bring up the flight control page. The ELAC system, as you can see, ELAC 1 and 2, and just as the abbreviation is, ELAC is elevator and aileron control. So basically ELAC 1 and 2 control the ailerons, all right, which are these 2 guys over here, and the elevators. All right, these are controlled by ELAC 1 and ELAC 2. All right, now you have SEC or SEC 1, 2 and 3. All right, now SEC stands for spoiler elevator control. All right, spoiler elevator control, SEC 1, SEC 2 and then SEC 3. So obviously you have SEC 1 over here, SEC 2 and SEC 3. Now SEC 1 and 2 will still enable you to have control of the elevators and the spoilers. All right, because in the event that the ailerons fail, we can still use the spoilers to manipulate the aircraft left and right using the spoiler deflection on the wings. All right. And then you've got the FAC. Now the FAC 1 and 2, that's the flight augmentation computer. Basically that's used to control the rudder for the yaw damper, and basically a lot of this stabilization comes under the pitch trim, you know, the auto trim, the pitch, the auto trim system for the pitch and everything is controlled by the FAC computer. So if that fails, we will no longer have auto trim. We'll no longer have the yaw damper, which is going to stop which basically the yaw damper essentially just, as you're in a turn, it coordinates the tail and the nose of the aircraft, so you don't get a Dutch roll and you don't have the aircraft doing this and this while you're trying to turn. So that's basically what those flight control computers are for. All right. Now the beauty of the system is Airbus. Now I'm going to just show you right now how amazing the Airbus is and how much redundancy is built into this aircraft. Let's just say we lose ELAC 1, all right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take manual control of the aircraft, all right? Autopilot coming off. And we're going to continue to try and stay on the flight director and get ourselves to flight level 350. In fact, we're going to be leveling off very, very soon. Now, as I move the side stick, all right? There we go, there's a buzzer. We got Alt Star, and I'm just going to level us off at flight level 350. There we go. A little bit of downward motion, and there we go. Nice. All right. All right, now that we're stabilized here, we're stabilized, and we're just gonna we need to make a turn to the right. So as you can see, I'm moving the side stick, and as I move the side stick to follow the flight directors to get us on our nav, look what happens. As I move the side stick, the ailerons are moving. All right, as the ailerons move, the aircraft banks to the side, and that's basically how we do bank the aircraft. And as we're doing that, the FAC is keeping the rudder coordinated and basically all of that. Now let's just say within this bank, like if I command a gentle roll, the aircraft is going to only use the ailerons. All right. Now if I command a steeper turn, we're going to need some spoilers. All right. So as I push you see that the spoilers come out. As I release, the spoilers go in. So the spoilers, they work in conjunction with the ailerons to keep the aircraft maneuvering as required. All right. Now let's just say, and of course when I pull back on the stick, you can see the elevators go up and down, and that's how we control the aircraft. Stand by. I am at a very sensitive altitude, so I'm actually at high speed at flight level 350, so the air is a little bit thinner up here, so I got to be really careful in my maneuvering. Now let's just stabilize the aircraft and get it to where we want it to be. All right, right there on the flight director, perfect. And as you can see, the auto trim's working, everything's working fine. Now the flight control computers, as we know, ELACs control the elevators and the ailerons. SECs control the spoilers and the elevators as well as a backup, and then the FAC controls the fly-by-wire system, the yaw dampening, basically the stuff that helps us to stabilize the aircraft. All right. Now what would happen if I lost ELAC 1? All right, let's go in order. I'm gonna lose ELAC 1. I'm gonna turn it off. All right, we get a master caution, ELAC 1 fault. That's because I turned it off. And look, ELAC 1 is off, but ELAC 2 is still working. And if I move the side stick, look at that, the ailerons are still working and the spoilers are still working. So the aircraft is still flyable, everything is perfect. Not bad. All right, we're still good. We're still doing fine. All right. Now, as I stabilize the aircraft, now what happens if we lose ELAC 2? All right, so come up here, ELAC 2. I'm gonna shut off ELAC 2. All right, there's another master caution, ELAC 1, ELAC 2 fault, and because of that, we've gone into alternate law and the protection is lost. You can see we don't have the flags anymore. We can even roll the aircraft completely. But now that elevator and aileron control is off, all right, you see even the little arrows for the ailerons have gone amber, which means they're not working. So if I move the side stick, look at that. The aircraft is still moving, but we're not using the elevators. The elevators are pretty much dead right now. They're stuck in, they're just flush. They're not moving at all. However, SEC1 has taken over. The SEC1 is now manipulating the spoilers to make sure that I'm able to roll the aircraft as required. All right. So I still have full control of this aircraft. I still have my elevators. I still have everything. I just don't have the roll protection, and I still don't have, and I don't have the ailerons. But using these spoilers, I can still manipulate this aircraft. I can still keep it flying. Look, I'm steady at flight level 350. All right, now let's make it worse. Let's go ahead and shut off SEC1. Boom. Another master caution and SEC1 fault. Now, as you can see, SEC1 is offline, but SEC2 is a direct redundancy backup to SEC1. But the problem with SEC1 is when we lose SEC1, we lose spoilers 3 and 4. All right, and that's still okay. All right, because if I try to manipulate the aircraft now, we still have spoilers 1, 2 and 5 working. All right, so as I move the aircraft, look, I literally don't have to work too hard. I'm literally just able to manipulate this aircraft using SEC2, which is going to operate spoilers 2 and 5 to help me keep the aircraft nice and safe, nice and steady. Everything's absolutely fine, and we still have the auto thrust, by the way. Okay, now let's go a step further and make things even worse. So SEC1 is off. SEC2 is helping us. Now let me go ahead and turn off SEC2. And okay, now it's really angry. It gave us a master warning and it gave us a master caution. Now the problem is SEC1 and 2 also helped us with elevator control. All right, now look, when we lost ELAC 1 and ELAC 2, SEC1 and SEC2, we lost the ailerons, we lost control of the elevators, and we lost spoilers 3 to 5. All right, but we still have spoilers 2. All right, however, what we do now is, like, if I try to roll the aircraft now, look what happens. The aircraft is still rolling. I'm still able to roll the aircraft using spoilers number 2, because SEC3 maintains control over one set of spoilers, which is spoiler 2 and spoilers number 2 on either side of the aircraft. I have roll, but if I pull back on the side stick, nothing is happening. The aircraft does not want to pitch up. That's because I've lost elevator control. Now, what do you do when you lose elevator control? As you can see, the aircraft is pitching down. I'm losing altitude. Very simple. The rudders and the pitch are connected, have a manual backup, which means if I lose the flight control computers, I can still manipulate the aircraft from here. Now, I have no side stick control. Look, I'm pushing, I'm pulling, nothing's happening. All right, nothing. But I can still bring a little bit of nose up. Look at that. The aircraft is now climbing back again. See that there? As I can use SEC3 to help me out. Now I'm going to just move the trim down to about 0. And you'll see the aircraft, I'm actually able to control the pitch of the aircraft using the pitch trim, the pitch wheel. As I trim it to 0.2 down, you can see the nose is coming down. Once I get to where I want to, I can bring it back to about 0 deflection, and the aircraft will stay there. And now I can use Sec 3 to basically fly the aircraft. All right, so that is how that's basically me flying the aircraft now using the trim wheel. I'm using the trim wheel to move the entire THS to help me stabilize the pitch of the aircraft, while I'm using the side stick and Sec 3 to basically work the ailerons, the pitch of the airplane. Now, let's go even further. Let's take Sec number 3 out. Boom, Sec 3 gone. We have no spoilers, we have no elevator control. I can move the stick as much as I want, nothing is happening. Look at that. All right, nothing's happening. I can still control my pitch using the pitch trim, the pitch wheel, and that's going to bring the nose down. All right, I'm going to stabilize the aircraft. I'm going to go track FBA and FD off for now, just so I can get the bird and stabilize the aircraft. But I am not able to, let me get that back. So now I'm going to pull the trim back up again, let the nose come back up, and I'm going to try and stabilize the aircraft just using the trim wheel back again. So now as the bird gently comes back to the horizon, and I'm going to stabilize it over there. All right, right there. Bring it back to about 0.2. Should be fine. You just keep playing with it until you see the changes necessarily happening. Now, I'm not able to roll the aircraft, as you can see. So what do I do to bank? Very simple. The banking of the aircraft is done. Now, when you roll the aircraft, okay, or when you yaw the aircraft using the rudders, the secondary effect of a yaw is a roll. So if you yaw enough, the aircraft will eventually tip onto its side, to the side that you're yawing. So look what happens. I'm gonna now push on the rudder, and as I push the rudder to the right, the aircraft is rolling to the right. If I push the rudder to the left, I can now stabilize. So I'm literally flying left and right using the rudders. That's how you look. I don't know if you can see it, but with my foot down there, I'm gonna push the rudder. You can see I'm gonna give rudder deflection, and the aircraft is rolling. The minute I take the rudder off, the aircraft stops. And now I can use the left rudder to bring the aircraft back. Using secondary effect on my rudders, I'm able to literally fly the aircraft using the trim wheel to control my pitch and the rudders. So you can still fly the aircraft. Now, the FSC controls the auto trim. It also controls the rudder, the yaw dampening of the aircraft, and the rudder movement limitation, which is fine, which is good. Now, what if we lose FAC control as well? Now we're going to lose the auto trim, as we're going to lose the auto thrust. We've lost everything. However, because yes, I understand. Let me bring that back there. Now, because I have lost all of the flight control computers, I can literally I'm in what we call mechanical mode now. So you have normal law, you have alternate law, you have direct law, and then you have mechanical law, which means my controls are limited to the mechanical controls. So I'm literally now flying the aircraft and stabilizing the aircraft because the rudders, the aileron trim, the pitch trim, the trim wheels, they have a mechanical collection. So do the thrust levers. So I'm literally flying this aircraft now using mechanical law. And that's what's helping me stabilize the aircraft. So guys, that's what the ELACs, SECs, and FACs do. All right. Now, if I bring back FAC 2, I get the rudder control stabilization as well, which is going to help me in the yaw dampening. And now, if I bring back FAC 1, it's going to help me out even more. I think I'll even get the auto thrust back now. So I've got the auto thrust back. Now, if I bring back SEC 3, I'm gonna get the I should get I don't have elevator control yet, but I do have aileron control, so I'm able to back the aircraft but still use the trim wheel to control my pitch. All right, now let me bring back SEC 2. Now once I have Sec 2, I have more spoilers, I have my ailerons back, and I have elevator control as well. So what I've done is I've actually taken myself massively off course. So I'm going to bring that back, set flight level 350 back there. Alright, get my flight director back on, and I'm basically now using Sec 2 and Sec 3 along with FAC 1 and FAC 2. I'm gonna stabilize the aircraft, put it back on the flight director, and gently put the aircraft back on track to where we need to go. Alright, now let me bring back ELAC 2. Immediately I have more spoilers available now, and I have more control over the aircraft, and I got my fly-by-wire, my bank protection back as well. So all things are looking really good right now. Alright, less than 1,000 to go to come back to 35,000 feet, and we're going to go Sec 1 and ELAC 1 on. Now I've restored all of the flight control computers, and I can push the autopilot, and the aircraft is now going to fly perfectly fine. I have full control of the aircraft. So guys, that's what the flight controls do, and that's how you can control the aircraft if you do lose control. If you lose all your flight control computers, this Airbus is still flyable. Alright, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys. So we've got Mach All Star, and we're heading towards Charlie Hotel Foxtrot. In fact, I need to go to the next one, which is Ubnat. There we go. Nav, and we're going there. So guys, as I was saying, flight control computers, they help you, and they keep the aircraft perfectly stable at all times. So now all we got to do is just monitor that the aircraft is stable, and everything's fine. So remember, if you lose ELAC 1, you still have ELAC 2. If you lose ELAC 1 and ELAC 2, you have Sec 1 to help you out. If you lose ELAC 1, 2 and Sec 1, you still have Sec 2. If you lose ELAC 1, 2, Sec 1 and Sec 2, you still have Sec 3 for the spoilers, so you can still bank the aircraft using the side stick, but you will lose elevator control, and then you're going to have to use the trim wheel to manage your pitch. Alright, if you lose Sec 3, then you're going to have to revert to the rudders and for your roll, and you're going to have to use the trim wheel for your pitch. Alright, so guys, that's the flight control computers explained practically. Alright, I hope you found that useful. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it, and if you have any further questions, let me know, guys. And as of now, it's onwards towards North Korea, Pyongyang. See you guys when I'm getting close to preparing for the descent approach. Alright, I'll get back to you then. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been about an hour into the flight, and we've just crossed the 200-mile marker, which means it's time to start preparing for our descent, approach, and landing into Pyongyang International Airport. And I can see what probably looks like North Korea in the distance. Alright guys, so the unfortunate thing is we cannot, North Korea being North Korea, we cannot get any information on the airport. Alright, so the last update was 5 hours and 49 minutes ago, where the winds are 3207 meters per second, and that's the only update I've been able to get. I cannot get ATIS, I can't get a METAR, so yeah, we're kind of stuck using the TAF, and I know it's 5 hours old, but it's the only information I have. And the QNH expected there was going to be somewhere around 1012, I guess, at the same time. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take it as we come along, all right, as we go along. And what I would like to do now is I'm going to basically go with the flight plan that I got from SimBrief. So we were expecting to be doing the Gasan 21 Alpha RNAV into RNAV star into Pyongyang. So it's plate number 10-2 Alpha, effective the 20th of August, RNAV star for the for Pyongyang, Korea. All right, Sunan Airport. So as you can see, this approach, it starts at this arrival starts at Kasan, where we got to be at 12,000 feet, 250 knots maximum, and then we work our way south down to Bodok, where we have to be 9,200, 220 knots, and then down to Papa Yankee 622, 7,200, 220, then Papa Yankee 621, 5,300, 200 knots, and then onto a final, which would be Papa Yankee 423, which is 3,000 feet, 180 knots maximum speed, and then we probably vector from there. We probably get vectors to join. Now, given that the winds are what they are, all right, the airport for the airport map, which is plate number 10-9 for Pyongyang, you can see that they have runways 35 and runway 17. And 11,237 foot runway is what they have. That's 3,425 meters long. All right. What we can do is we were planning initially to do an ILS. As you can see, we were planning to do an ILS into 35 using the Kasan 21 Alpha via the Papa Yankee 423. So Papa Yankee 423, it's all in the box already, selected and ready to go. So all we got to do is now just bring up the approach plate for ILS runway 35. There it is right there. So now I'm referring to plate number 11-2, effective the 20th of August, ILS runway 35. The frequency is 109.9, which we can cross-check there. 109.9 Lima Whiskey, and it's 352 on the course. 351, that's okay. 109.9 Lima Whiskey. All right. The approach will start at 2,000 feet at Papa Yankee 422 down to Papa Yankee 421, and then that's when we reach the final approach fix, and then we do our descent down to our minimums of 319 feet. All right. Minimum safe altitude is 3,000 in the northwestern sector. In the western sector, 5,000 in the northeast, and prohibited in the southeast, so we can't even go there. All right, so don't even think about going this way. You as you can see, this blue line here, this is a prohibited airspace, so we are going to have to cut this really tight, bring it in, and land this airplane. All right, so that's what we're going to do now. We've pretty much set up the cockpit is more or less set up, so it's a Zulu Kilo Papa Yankee 35. That's what we have there. Flight plan's already done. If I go into plan mode here, you can see it's sequenced nicely all the way down to the touchdown, all the way down. It's got all the constraints in there as well. All right, RadNav, we should be tracking Golf Kilo, which is the Pyongyang VOR. So Golf Kilo, put that there, and Golf Kilo will put that there. ILSs are checked. All right, progress, got that going there. GPS primary, accuracy high, all good. Performance. Now here, I'm gonna put QNH 1012 in there. The temperature is expected to be around 10 degrees as well. The winds were 300. Let me see, come back to the TAF. Weather, okay, 180 at 3. So technically we should be landing. Oh, actually no, it's becoming 320 at 7. So that's going to be around 12 knots. Okay, cool. Okay, 320 slash, okay, 7 meters per second would be somewhere along the lines of 13 to 14 knots. So I'm just going to put 15 in there for safety. All right. The temperature, let me see, what was the temperature recorded? Okay, 300. Okay, increasing. Interesting. All right. And our barrel reference is going to be 319. So we're going to put that in there, 319. All right. So now we're currently at flight level 350 and holding, and we want to drop down to a final altitude of 3,000 before we start the approach. So 35 minus 3,000 is going to be 32,000 feet that we have to lose. Times that by 3 and add 5, and that's going to give us 101 miles away from destination is where we have to start our descent. So we come down here, go into that, fix info, Zulu Kilo Papa Yankee 35 for the runway, and the final radial is 351, so it's going to be 171. All right, 171 is the opposite course, and 101 miles radius. All right, so if I come here, as you can see right there, that's the 101 mile radius around the airport. That's where we're going to start our descent. It's going to be a managed descent all the way down to 3000, and then we'll do the ILS in. It's going to be auto brakes low since we have a nice long runway, and pretty much everything else is ready to go. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the missed approach procedure. Climb to Papa Yankee 427, then turn left direct to Papa Yankee 621 at 3000 or as directed, if not shut down. All right, so no offense guys, I'm sorry. So that's basically the briefing for the arrival into Pyongyang. As you can see, we're making our way south now. There's Pyongyang right there, and yep, very soon we're gonna start the arrival and the descent. The descent and the arrival and the approach and the arrival and the landing and the parking. All right, and when we do get there, it's a small airport, so I'm thinking to take one of these guys over here, you know, one of these, maybe number 4. That should work out pretty well for us. Okay, so that's what's happening in the moments to come, guys, and I'll get back to you when I've started my descent. All right, get back to you soon. Alright guys, we just crossed the 100-mile marker, so now I'm gonna come down to 1000, set 3000 over here, and push. Alright, and there we go, descent, and we've got it in magenta because it's a managed descent. I can now get the seatbelt signs going as well. And here we go, we're starting our descent into North Korea. Look at that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I have been able to do some kind of research, and yeah, I'm still trying to get some information, especially where the QNH is concerned, but we'll see. Worst case scenario, I'll manage with the radio altimeter if I have to, and we'll see. Otherwise, what I can do is I will change my approach type to an RNAV approach type, so that could help me, because that will then now not be dependent anymore on the QNH. So I guess that should work out. All right, anyway, we've started the descent. We can now do the approach checklist, because there is no descent checklist anymore in the aircraft. All right, approach checklist, barrel reference. Actually no, I have to do that once I cross below transition. All right, so coming back to my map, let me see what altitude is our transition happening at. Transition is at 12,000, so at 12,000 I'll set the QNH, and then I'll do the approach checklist. All right, so I'll get back to you guys very shortly when I'm there. See you then. All right guys, just as a little update, I want to let you know that I was able to find this METAR-TAF.com, and I was able to get pretty much updated METAR for Pyongyang. So the QNH is 1009er, visibility is 4.8 kilometers, winds are 300 at 10 knots, wind temperature is 7 degrees. Conditions at the airport right now are IFR, so 7 degrees, and there's some mist reported. So I have updated that into the box as well, so we're good to go. All right, just wanted to give a little update so that you know I'm not flying blind. All right guys, get back to you when we're crossing transition and doing the approach checklist. Alright guys, we're pretty much 7 miles away from Papa Yankee 423, making our way down towards Pyongyang. So the airport is actually just to our left. We passed that, and I've got the speed brakes going because I need to slow the aircraft down before we reach Papa Yankee 423. And because we slowed down quite a bit, I had to deploy the flaps, so we've got flaps 1 going now, and yeah, everything should be pretty much good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and set 2000 since we're on the profile, and yeah, we're right on the profile of where we need to be, and it should be pretty much good to go. so 3,700, and our speed's coming down. We need to be at a maximum speed of 180 knots. So we did accelerate a bit, but I've got the speed brake out to help me slow the aircraft down as required. And then we can make the turn and fly towards the airport. So now that I've come down, once I get to 200, I'm going to deploy flaps 2, and that's going to help me to control the aircraft speeds even more. Got some mountains to the right, and we've got, all right, so there we go. I'm going to store the speed brakes now, and I'm going to go speed check, flaps 2. Flaps are coming out, and there's that big hotel that was created in North Korea, and it's completely abandoned. Apparently, it's a huge triangular pyramid-shaped hotel. And yeah, so anyway, we're turning now towards our initial approach, and I can even slow the air. I can actually manage the speed now. So we're going manage speed. Should be able to see the airport soon. It's right over there.
2,500.
Okay, that's 2,500 checked. We did do the approach briefing, the approach checklist as well. All that's left is the landing checklist. So so far so good. North Korea, ladies and gentlemen, North Korea. An adventure that started off in Dubai. There's the hotel. I hope you can see it. There's the hotel right over there. It's a massive pyramid-shaped structure, and it's completely abandoned, you know. So, and in fact there's a YouTube video about it, so I'll probably link that in the description below. And now we're gonna start the turn very soon, so time to get gear down, flaps 3, spoilers, and get the lights going, and tell the cabin crew to please be seated for landing. All star, gonna arm the localizer and glide slope. There we go. Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1+2. Final turn to the approach. Gear is down, and all that's left now is flaps full. There we go, flaps are full. We're lock star, glide slope star, and the go around altitude is 3,000. So once we have glide slope, I'll set the go around altitude. Here we go, lock. So we're on the localizer, heading straight for the airport. It is a beautiful country. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see the runway right over there. Straight ahead. Glide slope. Go around altitude set, and we can now do the landing checklist, which is ECAM memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Gonna let alright, so I think everything's good. Let's go ahead and hand fly this aircraft down. Autopilot's off. Cat 1.
1,000.
That's checked. Land.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Power at idle.
20. Retard.
Flaring for 5 degrees.
5.
Touchdown. And we got spoilers, reverses green, and decel. A little bit of a crosswind from the left. And there's 70. Idle reverse. Cancel the auto brakes. And on manual brake in. And I'll take the next exit that comes up. Tiller, full idle on the engines, and that, my friends, welcome to North Korea. We're officially on North Korean soil. I could probably take the next exit that's coming up, which is this one right over here, and we can start the whole process of getting the aircraft taxied over to the gate. Here we go. Cross this line here, and I'm gonna hold short over here, guys. Alright, just gonna prepare the aircraft for the arrival. Landing lights off, taxi off, start the APU as well. Flaps can go to 0, disarm, off, off. Okay, gonna hold short here at Bravo, and yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm taxiing back when I'm at the gate. Alright. Alright guys, taxiing over. We were given gate number 3, so that's just right over there, and I hope GSX picks it up. So all that's done, so we can go ahead, turn off the radars, and we can do the after landing checklist, which is radar predictive wind shear is off and off. So all good there, and we're just gonna taxi down to gate number 3. Interesting. I do love Korean architecture. It's amazing. Well, I love well, if I was to choose a region on the planet that would be my favorite, it would be the Far East. I love the Far East. It's one of my favorite places ever. All Far Eastern countries, you know, Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, China, you know, you name it, Korea. And it's just an absolute blessing to be able to go to these countries. And yeah, so here we go. Gate number 3 will be the next one. Is it this one? Okay, slow down, slow down. Here we go. I got my marshaller right there. Sweet. All right, number 3 identified. Gonna start the turn in, get the lights off. I'll get the APU bleed going as well. Hello. There we go. Okay, wheel stop, parking brakes on. Thank you so much. Alright, APU is available, so engine 1 off, engine 2 off. Can now get the beacon off, seatbelt signs off, and we can, and that, my friends, is how you do that. 1 hour and 45 minutes of flying time. Alright, parking checklist, parking brakes and chocks, they're set, engines are off, wing lights are off, and the fuel pumps are off. Checklist complete. Guys, welcome to North Korea. Pyongyang International Airport. It is a beautiful looking airport, I have to say. Alright, I'm not going to be here long. I'm going to refuel, I'm going to plan my flight, and we're going to get out of here. Alright, so I'll get back to you when we're ready for the departure onwards towards South Korea. See you guys there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are ready to depart. So just to give you a little briefing on our departure today, we are going to be taking off from Pyongyang International Airport on our way to South Korea, Incheon International Airport. So as you can see, here we are. We're going to take off towards the north, make a quick left turn, another left turn, then we're going to start heading south towards the border between North and South Korea, and then we're going to cross over into Gamda, and then we'll basically backtrack over the city of Seoul back in and land over there. All right, so the flight plan today has us taking the A321 Delta departure SID, which is plate number 10-3, effective the 20th of August. It's an RNM SID. So A321 Delta will have us taking off and on runway 35. Once we are there at or above 1200 feet, we're going to make a left-hand turn towards Papa Yankee 521 at 4,300 feet and go onwards towards Sasri. From Sasri, we are going to go direct to our next waypoint. And yeah, we'll be making our way out of North Korean airspace. All right, the aircraft today, so as you can see, it's going to be 4,300, so I'm gonna set 4,300 over here as the initial climb, and the minimum safe altitudes in that sector will be 3,000 feet, and we are prohibited to fly in the other direction, so we're gonna have to make sure that we stay well southwest. All right, in terms of the flight plan, it's all programmed in, just 221 track miles to go, and it's going to be a very short flight. I've loaded the aircraft with 5 tons of fuel. That's going to be plenty for us to get out of there. As you can see, I put the SID in. RadNav, we're tracking Golf Kilo, VOR outbound, and we've got the ILS, everything checked out and programmed in. On the performance, secondary flight plan has us coming back for an ILS to this airport, just in case of any engine failures or whatever. And finally, on the performance side of things, we've got flaps 1 takeoff with a trim of up 0.1, flex temperature 68 today, 47, 47 and 52 on the V speeds, and 1579 on the thrust reduction acceleration, as well as the engine out acceleration. Transition out is 12,000 feet today. All right guys, so that's pretty much it, and for the departure, and all that's left to do now is do the checklist, get the seatbelt signs going. I'm going to disconnect from external power, and I'm now going to basically do the before start checklist, as well as the and then get the aircraft rolling back. I'm gonna taxi down to runway 35, and I'll get back to you shortly before takeoff. All right, I'll see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are holding short at taxiway Golf, runway 35, and we're pretty much ready to go. All we need to do now is the lineup checklist, which is takeoff runway 35 is confirmed, TCAS is on TA and RA, and the packs 1 and 2, they are on and they will remain on for the duration of this takeoff. All right, so guys, time to leave North Korea behind and head off to South Korea. So let's get going. Give a little bit of thrust. Lights coming on right now. Strobes on as well. Clear on the left, clear on the right. By the way guys, let me know what you think of the new view I'm giving you with the primary flight display and the navigation display. If you like it, if it's too much information, just let me know guys. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And yeah, if you like it, subscribe, please hit like, and yeah, share these videos with your friends if you think they'll find it useful. There we go. Cirrus runway auto thrust is blue. Continue to climb out of here, and I'll get back to you once we reach our cruising altitude. All right, see you guys there. All right guys, here we are at flight level 210 in our cruising altitude, and in just a little over 9 minutes we were able to get from the runway up to our cruising altitude, and we're working our way now towards the border, and there's Incheon airport right there. So we're going to be flying out and then turn around, come back in, and then we'll be in for our landing. So the weather right now at Incheon airport is, this was 11 minutes ago, so the winds are out of 300 degrees, 12 knots, 5,000 meters, few clouds at 3,000 feet, temperatures 7 with a dew point of 3 and a QNH of 1009er, and there is some mist reported in the area. So that's pretty much the plan we have, and we're going to be doing a direct ILS via vectors. So given that the runway is, the winds are out of 300, and in Incheon we have runways 34 left, 34 right, 33 left, and 33 right. Initially we were given 33 right, but I'm going to take 33 left so that I can exit and potentially park over at maybe Terminal 2, Terminal 1, let me see. Yeah, we could probably, we'll go over to Terminal 2, that would be nice. Or even the Apron Tower Concourse. Yeah, that'll be fun. So we can do a quick exit, and we'll probably take gate 104 somewhere. We'll park somewhere around here. All right, that's going to be the plan we have for the landing. And I'm going to be doing an ILS approach into runway 33 left. So let's see, ILS 33 left. I'm going to add that in there. So now I'm referring to plate number 21-7. It's an ILS for 33 left, Seoul Incheon. Frequency is 109.3. 333 is the course. Final approach starts at 2,600 feet at BATA. All right. The minimum safe region, the minimum safe minimum sector altitude is 2,600 in the northwest, and 2,300 in the southwest, 3,900 in the northeast, and 3,300 in the southeast. And as you can see, the approach will start at Posak, which is which is 3,600 or 5,000 depending on which one they give you. And then we go to Lagoon and then Batap at 2,600, and we start a nice 3-degree descent down to our minimums, which is going to be 223 today. All right, and in case of missed approach, climb to 500 on runway heading, then turn right to 348 to on a 348 degrees heading to a distance of 6 miles, November Charlie November, which is the Incheon VOR. Continue climb to 4,000, left turn direct to Golf Echo 978. Hold as published, do not turn before passing Mike Alpha Papa. Missed approach turn limited to maximum of 210 knots. Alright, so that's pretty much the plan we have for the approach and landing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug this in. So I'm going to come over here to the destination arrival. Currently it's set to ILS 33 right. I'm going to choose ILS 33 left, and I'm going to go via, let me see, alright, no worries, I don't have to go through any wires, no wires, and I'm going to insert that in there. So you have, there is it right over there. Now in order to make sure that we have that we get to it in the correct place, let's just assume in real life we wouldn't fly, you know, all the way back there then just to come here. They would definitely start vectoring us from around Milu. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and since the next waypoint is Legon, I'm going to remove SEL, I'm going to remove that, I'm going to remove Bitim, and I'm going to put Legon as the next waypoint. So as you can see, I've created a direct to from Milu straight to Legon. All right, and I'm going to insert that in there, 3,600 for the approach. All right, so that's the flight plan done. We are going to be tracking the November Charlie November, the Incheon. So I'm gonna November Charlie November, I'm gonna hard lock it in there, hard tune, and the frequency is 1093 India November Lima Lima, and it is confirmed over there. 333 is the course, 1 degree variant, that's all fine. Progress, I'm gonna put Romeo Kilo Sierra India 33 left, I'm gonna put it in there as well. And performance, we're going with the next phase. We're going to go with a QNH of 1009er. Coming back to the weather, the temperature is 7 degrees and the winds are 300 at 12. So 7 degrees, 300 at 12. QNH is also 1009er, so all good. And our minimums today are 223, put that in there. And everything is pretty much set up. Fuel prediction, we're gonna have plenty to spare when we land. Secondary flight plan copy active. All right, so that's the hat done, and all that's left to do now is basically do a quick descent calculation. We need to come down to 3,800 feet before we start the final approach. We're currently at 21,000 feet. We need to lose 3,800. We need to come down to 3,800. So we have to lose 17,200 feet, and we're gonna take that 17.2 times 3 plus 5, and it's going to be 56 miles. So see, 57 miles. Right now we're 86 miles to go. When we are at 57 miles, I'm going to start the descent down to 3,800. All right, so that's the plan for the descent and the approach and landing into Incheon. So let's and of course this is going to be an auto brakes low landing because we got plenty of runway to negotiate. It's a cloudy day in Korea, in South Korea today, and so it'll be kind of fun, you know, breaking through these clouds and coming in. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for the descent and approach briefing. I'll get back to you when I'm ready, when I'm starting the descent. See you guys there. Alright guys, we've reached that point. Time to start the descent. So coming down to 3,600. So 4,000, 3,600 and push. Thrust idle descent and 3,600 blue. And given that the transition altitude is 14,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead, and I know I'm not going to stop for sure. So I'm going to set the QNH right now, push that in 10090 on both sides. And here we go. We're starting our descent into Incheon International Airport. Now it's time to do the approach checklist, which is barrel reference 223 set. Sorry, barrel reference 1009 set. Seat belts are on. The minimums 223 set. And auto brakes are set to low. And the engine mode selector is normal. So that's the approach checklist completed. All we got to do is get down and land. Alright, I'll get back to you guys when I'm just about to reach my final approach. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to prepare for this landing. So I was coming in too fast, so I did a non-standard gear down. And I've activated the approach phase as well on the MCDU. Just need to make sure I get to that waypoint by the time I reach there. I need to be at 3,600, which is showing. You see the little blue arrow here? That's telling me that I'm going to get there on schedule. So that's good news. I can also now reduce my speed a little bit, maybe go for flaps 1, because I'm just coming up on a flap retraction speed very soon. So I'm gonna manage the speed, make sure that it's not gonna accelerate on me. And yeah, so far we're looking good, breaking through these clouds. Approach checklist is done. We went below 10,000, so we can get the landing screens going on as well. I can actually reduce the rate of descent just a little bit, and as you can see, as I reduce the vertical speed, the blue arrow is also moving. Alright, so I just want to get there on schedule. That's pretty much all I need to do right now. So let me reduce the vertical speed just a little bit more. Maybe if I come down to 1500, there we go. 1500 seems to be, or even 1400 seems to be the sweet spot. Nicely working out for me right there. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself flaps 1 now. I'm less than 15 miles away. And we're in the thick cloud, so I guess we're just going to see the airport once we break cloud cover. So yeah, cool. No worries. Almost on profile, we've got flaps 1. And it's just been 26 minutes since we took off to get here. So that's pretty cool. There we go, 3,600, alt star, going to go for flaps 2 now. Speed is checked and flaps 2. There we go, flaps 2 is coming. Alt, I can also go ahead and arm the localizer and the glide slope. So Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1+2, glide slope star, lock star. We already got the gear down, so I can arm the spoilers, get the lights going, tell the cabin crew to be seated, going for flaps 3 now. Glide slope, and our go around altitude today is going to be 4,000 feet. All right, so that we're on the glide slope now, I can go ahead, set 4,000 there. We're flaps 3 and we're pretty much in for final approach, going flaps full now. And for some reason my speed is supposed to be 138, but it's staying there, so I'm just gonna go selected, and I'm gonna set 140 for my selected for the landing speed. I do not know why when I manage the speed it goes up to 150 something. So I don't know, it could be a bug in ProSim. I hope not. Anyway, I'll set it to 140. That's a nice comfortable speed for us. And yeah, pretty much set up, just waiting for 2,500. We'll get the landing memo, and then we can go ahead and do the landing. It is pretty hazy today. well, cloudy rather, over Korea. They were not talking
2,500.
about the mist. Alright, there's 2,500. Waiting for 2,000 to get the landing memo. We're descending right now at 600 feet a minute, so in about 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds, we should reach 2,000. Well, actually 2,000 AGL, which is right over there, so should be okay. Alright, 2,000. Landing checklist. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. All I need to do now is see a runway so I can land. It wants to accelerate for some reason. Alright, I'm going to keep it at 40. I thought I'll try one more time to see if I can manage it, but it doesn't want to listen. Oh well. Almost there. Just under 5 miles to touchdown. Currently 317 at 225 knots. That's quite a crosswind. I do not see anything. Well, I see the water, the lake we're flying over, or the ocean or sea or whatever it is we're flying over. I see that. But I do not see the airport.
1,000.
1,000. Roger that. I can see the flare lights of the runway, guys. Looking good. All right, flare lights. We got the runway in sight. Once I have the runway more clearly in sight, okay, I'm starting to see buildings. We're coming through the mist. Hopefully, it won't be a mist approach. Sorry, bad joke. I'm so sorry. Land contact. Alright, I got the lights for 33 left and 33 right over there.
500. 400.
Land.
300. 100 above.
Autopilot's coming off. Cap 1.
200. Minimum.
Continue. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Powers at idle.
5.
Spoilers, reverses green, decel. Nice. There's 70. Okay, canceling the brakes, and we can take the next exit and go and park the aeroplane. Using the tiller, let's take this exit right over here. Awesome. Welcome to Seoul, Korea, my friends. Alright, I'm just gonna stop right over here and just get the taxi instructions and clean up the aircraft. Alright, get back to you guys soon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I got my taxi instructions. We have been given gate 101. So that's just in that center concourse as we discussed. So now that we've crossed it, gonna do that, clean up the aircraft. TCAS can go off, weather radar off, landing lights off, strobes off as well, and we can start the APU. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the next left. That's gonna take us out towards the concourse we want to go to. Terrain radar can also go off right now, and I can do the after landing checklist very soon, just as soon as I straighten up the aeroplane right over here. So the after landing checklist will be radar and predictive wind shear. They are off. Okay. And we're just making our way towards gate number 1. We're currently on taxiway Romeo 1. So Romeo 1 all the way to here, all the way down there, 101. Awesome. There's Go First from India. That's a A320 as well. And of course you can also turn off the flight directors, reset the FMGS system. 37 minutes since we took off from North Korea. Alright, very soon we should be able to see our gate. I should probably slow down. Here's 102. 102 as well there. Gate 101, guys, I see it. So taxi lights go off. Here we go. There's our marshal. Ayon Kisayo. I hope I said that right. Alright, parking brakes on, APU is available, so engine 1 off, engine 2 off. Waiting for both engines to spool below 10%. There we go. Beacon off, seatbelt signs no smoking off, APU bleed off, on. Excellent. And I can also request for ground power. Ground power is available. Activating ground power. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seoul, Korea, Incheon International Airport. It's been such a pleasure having you guys on board, and it was fun to do a nice little landing and quick departure in North Korea. I wish those people very well, and I pray things get better in their lives. And here now we've landed in one of my favorite countries in the Far East, North Korea. Time to have some Korean barbecue and some kimchi and just enjoy myself. Guys, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing if you like what we do. And thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Hi, do you live in Dubai? Or are you in the United Arab Emirates? Are you an aviation enthusiast? Do you play flight simulator on your computer at home? Would you like to have the ultimate experience of flying an Airbus A320 in a real cockpit environment? Or are you a real-world pilot and you're looking to practice for an upcoming airline assessment? Or do you just want to master the Airbus aircraft? Are you a pilot looking to level up your knowledge and experience in instruments and navigation? Or maybe you're thinking of becoming a pilot in the future, but you're not yet sure if this is the path for you. Well, whatever your requirements may be, we're here for you. Book a session in our Airbus A320 flight simulator and come experience flying with a real-world pilot by your side as your instructor, guiding you along every step of the way. All ages are invited. Just scan the QR code or contact us via the details below for more information. See you guys in the cockpit soon.